back, everyone. William Nicholls here, and I am super excited to bring you another amazing interview with a fantastic thought leader. And Richard's a good friend of mine. He's actually a client before, and now I'm happy to call him a friend. And I'm super pumped to have you here, man. Welcome.
Thank you so much, brother. It's so good to be here and catch up with you. And yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. No, it's my pleasure. Let's talk a little bit about how we came into contact with one another. Um, how, because I guess, how did you find me originally? I actually don't even know this. So this is gonna be new
It was
information
through
for me.
Twitter. I don't know. Someone probably retweeted you. And I was in a time in my life where I knew I was ready to make massive change, but I didn't know. I knew some books and some guidance, but I didn't have any mentors in my life. And I followed you. A few months of reading your tweets, I was just in deep resonance with what you were putting out there about health, wealth, wisdom, and I was like, wow, I need to learn more from this guy because he's got something that I am looking for. And at the time, I wasn't in a dark place, but I was definitely not living my best life. And so, yeah, it was Twitter, and I think you had a link up or something, and I booked a call with you. And, since that 30-minute call, my life has changed dramatically in every way, all for the better. So I'm very grateful for meeting you through that platform.
Yeah, likewise. Talk a little bit about what's going on in your life right now, and because it's been a little while since we've had like a real conversation. So, what's been going on since we last, had our I don't even know when our last meeting was. It was quite a while ago. What's been going on for you?
Yeah, brother. So last time we spoke, I was still working for Elon Musk. I was making great money, working remote, but for most guys that are my age, mid 20s, working for Elon Musk and all that is so cool and awesome. But I knew that there was more to life and more to my potential. And the last we spoke, I was still doing that. I was still having these limited beliefs, and we were working on letting go of a lot of those about generating massive abundance on my own terms, my own business, and my own wealth. And it was like a fear that I wouldn't be able to make as much or more uh, working for myself as I do working at Tesla. And since then, I've quit that gig, totally gone into the wilderness. We bought a 10-acre property in the mountains in the Pacific Northwest, and we've been building a retreat center, my wife and I, Mary Claire. So we're hoping to do a soft launch later this summer. It's going to be like a wellness healing center. It's on the creek, nested in the forest. You don't hear anything but birds. This is my office right now on our deck. It's been really awesome building it. Tiny cabins, a sauna, cold plunge, workout kind of vibe. The intention would be to like invite, whether for men's groups, women's groups, anything really, people that want to come and get away from the city life, live in the forest. So that's been a big project of ours on this land here. We also live here now, so we've got a house on the property. And then I've also been really deep into financial coaching, so helping or assisting, providing the answers in terms of making your money work for you. And I feel like a lot of stuff that I learned from Elon and those guys, the big bankers, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and whatever, they don't share that information anywhere. It's all very esoteric. So I'm working on spreading that knowledge to the masses so that we can all grow our financial worth together. I feel like there's so many tools they have, and their money works for them every single day. It's not just sitting in a bank account rotting. So I'm helping spread that, plethora of info to make everybody else rich too. That's the two main things I'm focused on right now.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, that's great, man. I'm so glad to see all that coming up for you. Um, so talk a little bit about transitioning out of the Tesla world, because you were in that role for how many years?
Like 3 or 4 years, yeah, just about 4 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, and obviously that's amazing experience, and you get to see the insides of, a massive, massive, massive company. Um, how has working for Tesla kind of equipped you with some really awesome insights and tools to now be able to share that with others, and obviously just to benefit yourself and your family and your future family as well?
Absolutely. There's things I learned that I still utilize, and there's things that now it's like what not to do almost. Um, Working at Tesla was a blessing in that it's not like other corporate jobs with pointless, mindless meetings that you don't contribute anything to. So it's no bullshit. And that is, something I learned from there is I don't waste my time. I don't just sit in a call or do anything unless it's providing direct value to me or I'm providing direct value to somebody and I'm making something happen. So that's been something huge that I learned. And also bringing and doing a lot of stuff in-house, managing, designing, stuff like that. That's something I learned. In terms of financial stuff, there's a lot I've learned about investing and how to make your money grow. So that's the type of stuff that I want to share. And then, stuff I've been integrating from corporate life is like the 5-day work week kind of thing that we've all picked up from school, public school mostly, and just, waking up and having the structure. That's something I've let go of, and now it's more free flowing. And sometimes I want to work, at night. Sometimes during the day I want to go and swim in the river or do something fun, and then I get home and it's so open and there's so much freedom to my life now, and that is something that has just been really amazing. That was really restricting me, the whole like wagey lifestyle of Monday through Friday at this time. I can't really do anything. I'm committed to the computer and not having much life force energy after that, let's say at 6, 7 o'clock to carry out my dream life. And now I'm working like way harder, achieving way more. More abundance is coming to me, and that kind of flow of life is way more suited for me. It's like sometimes it's Saturday and Sunday and I'm doing 16 hours of work, but then it's Tuesday and I'm like skiing on the mountain all day, so it's really nice for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. And creating that freedom is really important, and I'm glad you were able to do that for yourself, because people aren't willing to leave that, because there's that risk, right? There's that fear of if I leave this comfort zone, then I won't be able to sustain myself, and that's a big fear
Hmm.
for a lot of people. But a lot of people see it really black and white, and I don't really see it that way anymore. It's very beneficial for most people, especially if you're providing for a family, to start, the passion stuff on the side, build that up to the point where that can overtake the corporate stuff, or at least be on par with it, and then decide whether you want to stay or go. Other people need to just make the leap. It all just
Yeah.
depends on who you are and what it is that you need most. And that kind of goes back down to also discussing some of the belief stuff, right? Starting to question why we are doing a specific thing, starting to figure out why. Like, why am I going to work every day? What am I trying
Hmm.
to build here? Because even if you work a job for someone, I don't think there's anything wrong with being an employee, as long as you know that you're contributing to something that's bigger than yourself. If you lose track of that, then you just feel, you kind of feel lost. You start drifting, right? You start drifting away from what you should be doing.
Absolutely, yeah. That was, it has to be aligned with your purpose. I too have no issue with being an employee working for someone else. I think there's a lot of hate around that, but it has to be aligned with your purpose. It has to, you have to be contributing to something greater. It can't just be like mindless, intentionless robot work that's, you're not really contributing anything. And that is what's, draining our energy and not replenishing it. And Yeah, what you mentioned about the two kind of ways you can do it. One is building it on the side, and the other is just drop dead, quitting, and then building it. For me, it had to be the latter. When I had the security of all the money coming in and all of the knowing that I had um, all of my bills paid and this and that, I wasn't that motivated to build anything. And it wasn't until I said, okay, I quit, that I was like, okay, the fire's burning at my ass. Like, I need to achieve great things now, or what's going to happen, you know? I was like, it was like kind of a side thing. And that's actually what I've noticed now. A lot of people in my life, or, you know, I've noticed that for some, you have to quit. You have to have the fire burning. You have to be back against the wall. What am I going to do? How am I
No
going
way
to
out.
achieve? Yeah, exactly. Because there's no backup plan. This is it. What are you going to do, you know? So, I would encourage people not to be afraid to just do that. It's always going to work out. Yeah, it's worked out for me.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, and some people need that security of whatever, having however much saved, however many months of living expenses saved before they can do that. For me, I mean, I did the same thing that you were just describing. I just said, "Fuck it," I made
Yeah.
my first $1,000 online, and I said, I'm not ever going back." And I didn't make the next thousand for like 3 months. So it was like
Uh,
it was very hard, difficult road, and I don't recommend that, especially if you have a family. But sometimes that's what you need to do, because just like you said, back against the wall. Some people operate their best, and then other people they easily go into scarcity when they're in that situation, and they can't get anything constructive or creative done. Um, and so you just have to know yourself when it comes to that. I want to talk a
yeah.
little bit about self responsibility and victimhood and those kind of dichotomies. And clearly, by the lifestyle that you're living right now, obviously requires a lot of self responsibility. Part of being your own boss and part of building your own business and living life on your terms means that you're now responsible for the work that you're doing. You're now 100%, you're holding yourself accountable basically. So can you touch on a little bit of, your own journey of moving from that dependency kind of more of a victim based mindset to a more self-responsible, self-accountable mindset, and what that looked like for you?
Absolutely, yeah. The transition was definitely not easy for me. I will say, um, it was from a young age that I simply took orders in school, in college, and even though I was a leader, I was a fraternity president for a few years. You know, big frat boy, making all the calls and planning parties and leading, but I was still reporting to someone, and then in work, transitioning to the corporate world and every week XX, has to get done, and then you show up and your bosses or whoever, your board of directors is telling you what to do all the time. And from that, you can develop a plan. But accountability when you are an entrepreneur is so much different. And the transition for me was difficult because it's your choice when you show up every single day. I could do more play and I could just go and play in the forest. But the work needs to get done, right? And it's on me. And it's almost that no one is checking in except for myself if it gets completed. So that structure and planning part of it is so important. Um, and it's been a struggle for me because I've been letting go of so many years and such a long time of taking orders, nodding my head, and simply doing tasks on a timeline as they're assigned to me, to transitioning to brainstorming, creating ideas, and then going from the mind to the matter part of it is like, okay, I have this idea in my head from X to Y. There's all these steps that need to get done. Now, to manifest that into the real world, I need to actually sit my ass down at a desk and complete all this. If I want to build a house, a tiny home, I need to actually show up every morning with the hammer and build it, brick by brick until it's livable. And the same applies to your small business, your consulting firm, or whatever you're trying to create. So showing up for yourself every single day is so key if you're taking the entrepreneurial path, nobody's going to check in with you, not your mother, not your wife, no matter how supportive they may be. You have to show up. You have to make that commitment to yourself. So, yeah, it's not something we necessarily are taught, or I wasn't growing up. And it's even outside of work, I've realized how important it is in terms of health, like morning routines, night routines, right? You want to work out. Okay, well, you get home from your day of work and this and that. It's like, are you going to show up because you have a goal to have a six pack or whatever it is? So, yeah, you have to show up every single day. Yeah, that's non-negotiable.
And so how has kind of questioning some of those beliefs and working through some of those limiting beliefs accelerated that process for you?
Yeah, well, the amount of limiting beliefs that I've picked up that you single-handedly helped me rewire and replace has literally rewired my DNA and changed the way I look at everything. Like, it has opened up new realities for me. Like, my perception over what is possible is just like, and limiting beliefs, I still have some. And it's like I catch them now. I'm much more aware of when they come. And they're not conscious, they're subconscious limiting beliefs that I don't identify with on a conscious level. But unfortunately, through childhood and this and that and the mainstream media and whatever, they got wired into me. These limiting beliefs over what is possible, how much money someone can make, where they can live. There's so many. I mean, the list is endless. And once you take the path of, letting go of your limiting beliefs, rewiring them, everything becomes possible. For me, it has just opened up an entire new world of the ability to create whatever I want, whenever I want, with any help that I need. And so it's like those beliefs hold you down like chains. It's incredible how much they are weighing us down, the weighing beliefs that we picked up through the years and through the work that I've been doing since we worked together, mostly the work that you provided this major base for of that limiting belief, letting go of, rewiring to knowing what is possible has been the main contributor to everything that I'm creating in my life. I could have never guessed how important limiting beliefs are. I mean, they still show up, and I now notice them when I talk to some other people, family, friends. It's like you say something that you perceive as possible or going to happen because that is your true belief. You know it to be true. And then it's like limiting belief, and it's just like, no, you're all making me sick. Like, that's not what I believe. That's not. And yeah, as Morpheus said, my beliefs do not, there's Matrix 2, the guy was like, Morpheus, not everyone believes what you believe. And he's like, my beliefs do not require them to. So that is kind of what I've picked up is I'm sometimes a lonely guy when I go and, there's so many limiting beliefs just getting thrown at us. And I've let go of those, and my refreshed beliefs have opened up the new world of opportunity.
Amazing.
So bless you, Will. Thank you.
I want to talk about... Oh, I appreciate you, brother. I want to talk about the difference. So we kind of see this extremism right now going on in the world, right? We see an extremism that's really geared towards the kind of beast system, science and finance and hustle and bustle and grinding to no end. And then we have the extremism on the other hand of, just completely renouncing the system altogether and, la-di-da, spiritual, kind of going down that hole on the extremism. So I want to talk about, how you kind of balance that in your life, and especially as you're building these new ventures, because obviously both are important and both have their purpose, and we need both. There's nothing wrong with money. Money's great. Money's amazing, and the opportunity that we get to exchange value and circulate that money to, provide value to other people and to receive value from other people. I mean, that in itself is an amazing, amazing thing, and that in itself is spiritual as a principle, as it is. And on the other hand, we still need God. We still need to maintain that connection. So, what's your experience been in balancing those kind of two worlds, especially now that you have the freedom to be self-sustaining as you are?
I would say it's about the middle ground, finding a balance between the spiritual and the work kind of, meaning like it's all in, for me, it's in the daily practice, whether that's yoga, breath work, practices like that. Um, I think we may have differing views based on last time we talked about plant medicine, but that's coming up for me now because it's like I'm thinking at one end, it's like you're just sitting on the beach, sitting with different plant medicines, Mary Jane for one, and it's like, I'm going to just, put it into a example. You're sitting at the beach smoking all day, but you're not contributing, but you're all zen, practicing a lot of yoga, you're in tune with the universe, but you don't have a job or you don't create anything, you're not making any money, you don't add any value to your community, to your family. It's great. You're on the beach, you're spreading love to the people around you, but you're not fulfilling, in my opinion, and this could be triggering for some, you're not fulfilling your mission in that you're not working hard towards building the life that you deserve and desire and contributing to your community. And the other way is like you're working super hard, you're a Wall Street banker, but you don't take time to breathe, connect with spirit, with source. You don't have a religious practice or even like yoga or some spiritual balance. So for me, it's finding the middle ground of how can we practice both in our daily life and like meet in the middle or somewhere close to that and incorporate the spiritual and the building kind of side. And oftentimes they can intertwine. So for me, it's really just finding the balance in that and not getting too stuck in either one, which can be challenging too. Um, you know, so yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I mean the reason both ends are extreme is because they both suck people in from different angles, right? Like if you're more geared towards spirituality, then the whole spiritualism and that sort of thing is tempting, and then you tend to reject modernity, even the good parts of it. And then on the other hand, yeah, if you're so enmeshed in the system that you lose track of what really matters and what's really important here,
Yeah.
like our connection with God and knowing who we are, then both are losing battles.
Amen. And somehow I feel like as a society we just got too these days, and maybe it was in the past too, we just got too extreme. You don't have to always go so far to one end. You can go, take what resonates and leave what doesn't, and meet somewhere in the middle and have that balance. It's totally okay in politics and life, with medicine, health, and all sorts of stuff. So, yeah.
Absolutely. So I want to talk a little bit about the importance of presence and specifically how it applies to the financial stuff you're doing as well as from a relationship perspective. So how has or like if we're gonna speak, let's just speak to the people that are perhaps in finance or really interested in trading and crypto and the markets and all of that. How important is it to cultivate a sense of mindfulness and presence in order to succeed in that area from your perspective?
Thank you for asking. It is the number one most important thing. Like, I'm sure you already knew, but
Yep.
it's like all of the you can read all of the trading books. You can learn from the best Wall Street trader, the best investors, Warren Buffett. If you don't have and aren't working daily on that inner awareness and mindfulness, you can lose it all. And
Hmm.
even let's not
Very
talk about,
quickly.
yeah, exactly. It's like if you're not aware, you can generate massive abundance and you can have an incredible few months where you make hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then it'll be that lack of presence of knowing what you're doing or getting stuck in the motion that will bring you right back where you started. Um, and so it's so important to be aware of what you're doing, your patterns, um, the subconscious mind, and how who's driving the wheel, right? Um, I noticed these days in the spiritual community, I even saw a sign the other day. It said "Kill the ego" on the street, and I was like, "What does it even mean?" Um, and it's like it's all about integrating, yeah, exactly, your shadow self, the ego, and accepting that they're here with you, and they're always with you, and who's in control, right? So if your higher self, your embodiment of who you really are driving the wheel all the time, then that's great. Um, Most of the time in today's world, that's not what happens, and our limiting beliefs, our subconscious mind takes over, and we lose the ability to make aware and mindful, conscious decisions. So, as it has to do with trading, mindfulness is the number one thing that is key to knowing when to place a trade, when to exit a trade, when to take profits, when to leave the market altogether and go piss off in the beach and not look at your phone or your computer. So it is the number one thing, and it has been through my history of trading. I've seen how it can hurt and help based on how my levels of awareness are trending, and when it has to do with the spiritual practice too, and just taking a step to myself where there's so much noise in the world. I have found if you don't take time to slow down, breathe without external um, inflow of information, music, you know, you don't just listen, or not even having an agenda to sit and meditate, which is like a practice guided thing, but literally staring at a wall, um, or going to the forest and sitting on a log with no plan. That's to me where I receive messages from God, and He tells me, hey, do this or do that, or do you remember 3 days ago when you said that? Like, what was that? That is like the stupidest thing ever. So, yeah, mindfulness is key and incredibly important for trading, finances. Um, I've seen firsthand how detrimental it could be if you lose it even for a month or a week or a day.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Especially when you start kind of building up the bankroll a little bit, starting to put in some bigger trades or bigger trades or
Yeah,
bigger trades.
you get
I've seen that
excited.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, cool. So let's talk a little bit about the importance of kind of carving your own path, because a lot of people nowadays are really bad at making decisions. You know, they're really they take a very long time, too long to make decisions, and when they do usually come to a conclusion, that decision is heavily influenced by all sorts of propaganda, whether it's external influences or internal conditioning. So, touch a little bit upon how you carving your own path. Um, I guess some of the challenges with that, and then also some of the major benefits that you've experienced from making those decisions for yourself, because they're not easy decisions. You know, they're very difficult decisions, but they're still important.
Yeah, the challenges are sometimes, for me, it's a lonely road in that you have to do what you think is right and execute on that. And you, in my opinion, can't really reach out to anybody to get validation on your plan, which has been different for me. It's like with moving here far away into the woods, away from, we didn't know anybody when we bought this home, this land. Since then, we've had great community, but so it's a lonely path because when you're carving your own path, it's typically different from what was sold to you by, propaganda, and also by family and your friends that you grew up with in your hometown. But so it's lonely. And the other difficulty, let's see, I can't think of any right now, but the benefits for me are mostly what I focus on. It's like we are all so unique, and we need to not forget that we have our unique and creative missions on Earth. And it's not going to look like what your parents did or what your friends that you hung out with when you were 15 did, or what your college buddies did. It's going to be unique for everybody. And when we embrace that uniqueness, we can all share the fullest embodiment of our gifts. And that is so special. It is literally the land of milk and honey when we can do that and all fulfill our mission in that way. And so for me, it's had so many benefits of when I carve my own path, I'm happier, I feel more fulfilled, my energy levels are just like multiplied, my life force is just like I feel stronger, more energetic. I'm pretty sure I'm reverse aging in that I look and feel younger than I did 5 years ago. So it's got tons of benefits. If I think of more, I don't know. The weaknesses, people are going to tell you you're going to fail. If you do open up to anybody about your own path, you're most likely going to get met with all the reasons it's not going to work or why they think it's going to fail. It's been my experience of whether it's parents or whoever. I have this idea of carving my path. I'm going to open this business, and it's almost like laughter, and it's not going to work because X, Y, and Z. And so it's like when you do open up to others, this resistance, oh, that's not going to work, that's hilarious. And then it's like, oh my gosh, like, is this going to fail? Like, I was so sure of it, but then I told these people and they laughed at me. And so that's tough because you want validation. You want people to say, that's a great idea. Like, go for it. Like, do what you need to do to get that done. But in my experience, it's not how it's met. It's usually met with, ha ha ha, that sucks. Like, go get a job.
Absolutely. And that's part of the path. Part of the path is being able to overcome all the resistance that gets in the way of you carving that path, because the entire system is designed to basically take out people that are doing that and block them in whatever way possible. And most of the time, it's through family and friends. Surprisingly, you figure out who's really supportive. And then also you figure out, when it comes to family at least, you figure out, there's other ways that they're supportive, and that's the type of dialogue and conversations that you have. You don't need to have the dialogue and conversations about a lot of the specific details, especially when you just have all this, we love our family, obviously, but they have all sorts of conditioning, and if they're not actively working on it, then, who are they to give their input on what it is that you're doing if you are, doing that? And there's always wisdom to be found. There's wisdom to be found in seeing things from with a little bit of pessimism, in order for you to either say, "Fuck that! I'm going to be better than that. I'm going to overcome it. Now I really got to show you," or just to kind of think about a more, practical basis for what it is that you're building.
Absolutely, yeah. No hard feelings. I understand when it is met with that resistance that it's just subconscious programming and beliefs that they're projecting, and they want my success, but it's their own limitation that they've, been received and are creating. And I wish I could go and serve everybody the manual and be like, we all need to rewire our limiting beliefs. Like, you don't even understand what's possible, but it's like, not everybody's interested in that. And that's just something I've had to live with since I've taken the path. The good news is plenty are interested in that and willing to do the work. And that is really encouraging to me. And that's who's been coming into my life recently. And it's been really nice to have a community of like-minded individuals who are like, anything is possible, but let's look at the risks and opportunities and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like I said, that's part of the path, like if you can't handle the obstacles, if you can't handle, the giant in the road, then you're not built for the path. And we're always given obstacles that we can overcome. Like, I don't believe there's such obstacles as something that we can't overcome. Otherwise, we wouldn't have that, challenge in front of us. God only gives us what we're able to handle. And so if it seems big and overwhelming, it means because you can handle it. And
Amen.
that's the more reason to even push through that, right?
Amen.
Um, awesome. So let's talk about the homesteading. How's that been going? How's that journey been? What are some of the challenges and some of the benefits of I saw you got some animals. That's awesome. How's that been going?
It's been really different from living in the city and growing up in a suburb just like 20 miles from Chicago. The
Yeah.
space, like, wow, I mean, everything is different. It's a completely different world. I'm living outside of a small town now. The community is a lot different. We really like everyone's way friendlier from what we've noticed. It's like the country. You can just come to someone's house and say, like, hi, and they'll invite you in for tea, for lunch. People are a lot
Yeah.
slower. It feels, yeah, more intentional. Um, it's just people feel kinder, more willing to help. If you get stuck on the side of the road, it'll just be like a minute before someone pulls over and helps you. Versus, I've been stuck in California before for hours trying to like flag people down, and they're just like pretending they don't see me,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
Um,
on the LA
so
freeway. Good luck.
yeah, yeah, right. It's like call AAA and no one's gonna help you out there. But
Yeah.
in my experience, the homesteading journey has been quite an adventure. We got this house and it's been a ton of work. We saw a lot of opportunity and it was a good deal for what it was. And we've been remodeling, designing our dream kind of paradise. That's been a lot of fun. There was a lot of things we didn't know about. So it's so glamorized on the internet, homesteading and stuff, and it is amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. But a lot of the times on the internet, they're showing how beautiful the chickens are and the harvest of the vegetables. They're not showing the sowing of the seeds, the weeding, the cleaning up of the chicken shit every week and stuff like that. So it's
Yeah.
like it's in that it's like, oh, so there's like this other part of it too that no one talks about. um, and it's like the joy is in the journey, right? It's fun to get a dozen eggs that are super fresh and they're like still warm because they were just laid this morning, and you go and fry them and it's like so delicious. You're having like raw egg yolks from the chickens like in your backyard. um, and there is some joy, strangely enough, in like cleaning up their poop and taking care of them. um, but yeah, it's been an adventure in that there's a lot more to it than I ever thought. In the winter, for example, there's a ton of snow. Snow is beautiful. We live on the base of a ski resort, and it's really fun to go and snowboard. But you also have to clean up the snow to get out of your house. So if it snows 2 feet, you got to plow that or pay somebody
Yeah.
to plow it, organize that. Getting firewood and stuff like that, you have to go cut down trees, and even just taking care of the forest. The way we took over this place, it was not well kept for many years. So there was a lot of dead stuff in the forest that the energy needed to be cleared, moved out physically and spiritually. So it's been a journey and a lot of work, a lot of hard, good, rewarding work. It's part of my morning routine to go and get something done outside, typically now that it's warmer. So whether that's like cleaning bushes, shoveling, doing some gardening, it is part of my meditation, like just silence, no phone, connecting with earth. And it's in that I get so rejuvenated and refreshed. It's amazing what is possible. For me, it actually started as a financial decision. I was living in Southern California with then my girlfriend Mary Claire, and we were like spending a lot on rent. It was 3,600 a month for a fancy apartment in San Diego, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, we're giving up a lot on rent. Let's buy a place so we can at least invest in something and build some equity." And so we went and we went on Redfin and we looked up San Clemente homes, 2 bedrooms under 1 million. That was like my budget at the time. and it said 0 results found. And yeah, and we
Yeah,
like looked at
yeah, I'll
each other
fort
and
it.
we're like, is the site like broken or like what's going on? And no, it's just like we couldn't get anything we wanted. We wanted some land, we wanted a garden. So this place divinely was given to us through Twitter. Actually, we found another guy who lives in the community here, and we asked him a few
Really?
questions. Yeah, and it's a really small town. We don't know anyone here when we moved. The blessing has been what's possible. Like your dollar is worth way more here. So that's been like a homesteading
Yeah.
thing of like almost breaking the matrix of the city life, the really expensive costs of everything, to like you come here, you get either some land or a home, you can grow your own food, you're on your own power, you get a well, so you have your own water. And if you have everything, oh, and the way you source food is way different here too. Like you find a local rancher or farmer, right? And you source your grass-fed beef from them, lamb, whatever. The quality is way better. It's way cheaper than Costco or whatever the heck. Even the health food store
Yeah,
can have
Whole
outrageous
Foods.
prices, and this is just better quality, you know. So everything is different. It's like going to the farmer's market is how we get our food or growing it. And yeah, it's been amazing. I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. We're having a son that's due to be born. I mean, any minute now, he could start giving birth on this call. And I'm really excited
Amazing.
to raise a family here to like be wild children, to play in the forest, and just, be free to go swim in the creek and stuff. And yeah, it's been really great. I would recommend it to anyone, and
That's
if
awesome.
anyone's interested in like homesteading or how it all happens, I'd be happy to connect with them.
For sure. Yeah, we're gonna drop all your links below so people will be able to reach out if they want to
Great.
receive some of that financial wisdom
Yeah, I want to hear about
or
how's it going with
uh,
you too, and what you've been working on.
yeah, I've been doing a lot of really cool stuff. So yeah, basically the I've took everything that I've been learning over the last 5-10 years and just condensed it all into what I call the brain training protocol, which is basically just taking any sort of mental health support that's out there, which 99% of it's garbage, and putting it into kind of a systemized fashion. Following the 80-20 principle of 80% subconscious work and then 20% conscious processes. So that's what I've been focusing on, working with a lot of really awesome people, mostly CEOs, entrepreneurs, um, really people doing really cool stuff, and that's been super fun. It's been super rewarding, and got to meet a lot of really cool people. I mean, that's the best part of the job is we get to make good friends and people that have like interests, which is the coolest part.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That sounds really good. I will say, I mean, I already know I touched on it, but the work we did has just been so huge. Like that brain training stuff, the subconscious work that we did, I'm still noticing it every day, the impacts it's having. So thank you. I'm frequently thinking about you, and I catch myself, I'm like, I almost have your voice in my head sometimes. I don't know if you think that's weird or cool, but it happens.
That's awesome, man. So I want you to let us know what's currently the best belief that you have, and what was one of the worst beliefs that you've overcome.
The best belief I have. The best belief I have is that God and I are one. God lives within me, and I am able to create anything I desire in the material world at any given time, and that I am creating everything, whether positive or negative. I am creating everything I see, every um, hardship, every challenge, and everything. I create everything. I hold myself accountable for everything that's ever happened to me and everything that does day to day. So that's the best belief I have right now. And with that, it's empowered me to create what I desire. I can't just take the victim mindset like I used to and be like, I have no money, or I don't like my job and it sucks and blah, blah, blah. It's like, I made that, so what am I going to do? Um, and the worst belief that I've overcome, I think it has to do with what's possible with money. So I'd say the simplified belief I had was that becoming a millionaire is hard and nearly impossible, and that the only way to do that is by climbing the corporate ladder till you're like on the ranks, and that all businesses fail or something like that. I did have a belief like having a small business grow is really, really hard and you're going to fail. So that's the best one I've overcome, because that is absolute garbage thinking. Lots of people succeed, especially if you're providing true value to your clients or selling a superior product that is good or great, then you're going to succeed. It's without a question. There's a lot of crap out there. So if you're selling amazing stuff, you're going to bring massive abundance to yourself and your family.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, I don't think there's ever been a time in history where it's easier to stand out,
Yeah,
just
right.
by providing genuine value, as long as you know what people need and want and are able to offer that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Amen. There's
Um,
never been a better
what are some
time
of the
in history.
biggest? Yeah, for sure. What are some of the biggest inspirations and mentors that you've had along the journey?
Mm. I'd say two recently have been John Wineland and David Dita. Their books have helped me in a relationship a lot. I'd say, and with my inner masculine and inner feminine, which has helped me in a deeper sense of awareness of who I am and how to navigate all sorts of terrains in sacred union with my wife, and also in work and play. Um, those have been two key ones for me in the last year. Their writings, their podcasts, and their knowledge that they share have really been huge for me. Um, it has to do a lot with like sex, relationships, stuff like that, but the topics and information can be applied to all aspects of life, given that our life force is our sexual energy. Almost everything is sex in a way. So the principles in their teachings have helped me in every aspect of my life, and those have been the two biggest ones for me.
Awesome. And what are you currently reading right now?
Currently, I'm reading, again, I'm rereading a few books. One of them is the Kai Balian,
Nice.
which I'd recommend to anybody. Super simple principles for living. And another one is a Zig Ziglar book. It's got a red cover. I forget what it's called. I'm also rereading that one. It's about everything that's possible, creating massive success. And then I'm listening to Napoleon Hill audiobook. I'm Think and Get Rich. I have found that it is
Nice.
so important to have positive programs just like over and over again. If I'm not meditating and in silence,
All the time.
yeah, I mean, it's gone such a long way for me listening to mainstream music, which is literally the opposite of positive programming. It's usually like negative, sad, terrible stuff that we're just like
Yep.
singing and spelling and amplifying into the world, to like that daily rewiring of our beliefs is like it has to be a practice. It's like you can do the work and start letting go of your beliefs, but if you're not every single day contributing and reminding yourself of everything, um, it will disintegrate in my experience. Even if I don't have any positive inflow into my mind for a week, I notice the effects. Um, So find good podcasts, find great books. I know you have tons of amazing suggestions for books. Then reread the books would be my advice, because there's a lot of crap. You can go to the library and it's like just whatever, but there's some books that have so much knowledge in them, you can read them 10 times, and each time you learn something new about yourself and about the topics and themes in it.
Absolutely. Yeah, people would be way better off if they read, 10 amazing books for their
Yeah.
entire life than they would if they were to read 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 books that are meaningless, for sure. I'm always rereading stuff. That's great. Um, and from going into the financial stuff a little bit, um, you're offering coaching. So what's going on with that?
Yeah, I'm
What is
offering
it that you're
finance.
offering to people?
Yeah, I'm offering one-on-one financial coaching. I will help you rewire the way you think about money and help you achieve your financial goals, whatever they may be. Many clients I work with already have a savings account and they just don't know what to do with it. So, a lot of people I've noticed have wealth that they've accumulated and it's sitting in a savings account earning nothing. I mean, the amount that a bank
Yeah,
will give you if you're not being mindful and aware of what's happening is actually disrespectful, and it's losing
it's
value.
criminal.
Give it,
Yeah.
yeah, it's criminal. And I help teach people about the banking system so that they can leverage the knowledge to their own gain, the same way that the rich do. The rich families teach their kids about money from a young age and how to leverage it and benefit them. So I'm helping people, giving people the knowledge that they need and working with them also on a beliefs level about financial well-being, financial abundance, and what is possible, um, in terms of everything that has to do with finances, making money, earning money, and then once you have the money, where do you put it in not only safe places, but places that will grow and earn compound interest, which will is the real way to retire early and have tons of money. It's not a 401k, guys. So that's a scam. It's a tax thing for corporations. That's why they invented it. I think it's cool. You can get a match and stuff. But if you just have a 401k that's coming from your paycheck, yeah, it's not going to really help you too much. You need to allocate your funds to smart places. So that's what I'm helping people do. And then another thing I'm doing is options trading, helping people learn about the power of um, really simple medium term options of like you can earn a lot if you can catch a trend and invest at the right time.
That's awesome. And so, what types of people uh, do you work with? Like, are you working mainly with people that already have like a decent amount of savings and they're just trying to figure out what to do with it, or are you working with younger people that are trying to figure out how to start making some serious money? Where you kind of fall into?
I'd say it's the target audience is people who have savings or are building a savings, but they know it's not in the right places, and you know that if it's not earning you money, that's growing every single year. I'm earning you a lot of money, and yeah, I'd say most of the clients are like anywhere from 25 to 40, and it's like people starting out, their families and stuff, and you want to make changes. You're willing to allocate your capital to grow your wealth, but you just don't know how, and you are ready to make the changes, allocate your capital, and rethink the way you think about money, whether that's investing in real estate or simply opening up new accounts and moving your funds. Yeah.
And so, we don't have to get too deep into details, but what are some ways that people can start making their money work for them?
Well, the most easy one in today's day and age is a high yield savings account, which even like the most simple thing that somebody could do, if you have money that you don't want to invest in stocks, crypto, or bonds or other stuff, then the easiest thing you can do is open up an FDIC insured savings account. For example, Robinhood Gold offers 4.65%. So that would be my number one easy recommendation. Open up a Robinhood account, and if you have 100,000, put it in there, and you're gonna make $4,600 a year versus what you're making right now, zero. And that might not sound like a lot, 4,600 to some, but where it comes into play is compounding interest, and that is the number one key here. Is year after year, the amount that your funds will grow is going to be huge, and down the road 10, 20, 30 years, you're going to make a ton of interest on earning interest on your funds. That is the easiest and lowest interest thing you can do, a high yield savings account. But I would also say opening a Roth IRA is huge. And I used to be like so against the financial system and just like pro crypto, but I've seen that there is massive benefits, especially with taxes, to have a Roth IRA and have some of these traditional things. The Roth IRA is special because you can buy stocks and stuff, and you can even buy crypto now if you want to catch like the Bitcoin bottom and open a Bitcoin Roth IRA. You can not pay any taxes, which is huge. I mean, screw the IRS. I don't want to pay them any more than I have to. And then the third thing would be considering to look into real estate as a tool for you to pay less taxes and generate passive income. And there's a lot of limiting beliefs about that. So I help people set up or invest in real estate with getting investment from either debt or equity, meaning from investors or from a bank, using different kinds of facilities. Because when you have a rental property, you can depreciate and write off a lot of stuff. And for some people, depending on the amount of income you make and how your income is coming in, having an investment property could actually make you more money than if you, well, I guess what I'm trying to say is having it can be incredibly beneficial, and it's almost like the amount that you spend will come right back to you within a few years, and then some, based on the write-offs you can have and all the other stuff. So yeah, there's a lot in the financial world that we can take advantage of, and from a young age, like the age that you and I are, that's the time to start. But even if you're 35 and you haven't invested $1, it's still not too late. It's like if you don't make change now, that's when it becomes too late. You gotta make the change now, whether it's $100 a week or whatever. Starting to save, putting money aside, making it grow is huge. And then, yeah, having 10%, 20% of your portfolio in a riskier way. Traditional finance people, like Wall Street bankers, they have a kind of vengeance against NFTs, crypto, stuff like that. But when those waves come, there are opportunities for massive growth, right? Like, you can earn a lot if you can catch the right trend and get in, get out. It takes risk. It takes some balls, you know, like, but there's a massive opportunity too. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I remember in 2021, you know, the nice bull run that we had at that time. There was a few that was kind of like a hot spot too for investing in ICOs, and that was the safer route for me, so I decided to do that. And I think out of 4 of them, only one gave me like an insane ROI, but it paid off for every other one.
Yeah.
So it didn't really matter, you know, just like $1,000 here, $1,000 there, $1,000 here, and then one of them, whatever, 100x, and then that's nice, and then you can ride off of that. So that's good too. What do you say to people who are kind of concerned about, you know, what's going on with the Fed and the markets and how everything's kind of, you know, we're clearly in a recession. So do you say that it's a good time really right now to start investing? Because a lot of people are more concerned about if they lose any more money than they have, you know, rather than invest it during this time, which the most money is always made during recessions.
Yeah, thank you for asking. I have a differing view than most financial advisors or people in the space, likely, and that's that I feel, what's non-negotiable, which is fact, is that the market goes in waves. It goes up and down. The economy goes up and down. If you look at a 100-year horizon, on average, every 10 years, times are great, times are hard. Strong men create easy times, weak men create hard times, and so on. And so, right now, without a doubt, I feel like you can't even. It's clear that the economy is at a high in terms of the S&P 500 and all the other things. Now, how do we take advantage of that? Well, right now, I would not recommend somebody to invest in stocks and bonds unless you're willing, in the long term, unless you're willing to get out quickly. And this is because I feel like there's going to be an incredible buying opportunity down the road, in the near term. In the next few years, there's going to be a time where you can make generational wealth by having your capital ready and investing it. I feel like that time is coming. And, it happened in 2008 too. The stocks crashed. A lot of bank stocks really went down. And those people, that is when you get greedy. When everybody else is fearful, you get greedy. So when the bank stock goes down 30% in a day, that's when you buy it for the long term. You don't buy stocks when they're at an all-time high in the S&P 500, stocks are going up 30% a day and you just want to get in now. Well, I would recommend against it. I would say wait, have your cash ready to go. Get it in the account like Robinhood or whatever and have it invested in something that's earning you something, but you're preparing to invest at the bottom or close to it when the crash happens. And I say when because I don't know how large a market crash would be, or even if it's a 20% correction, but the S&P 500 cracked the high 3,500s in October, and since then it's just been on a bull mania kind of rally that doesn't make much sense to anybody, not even the best Wall Street traders that I've worked with. And so nobody can explain it. Everybody's happy and whatever. And that is the time of extreme greed where I wouldn't recommend investing in something. I would wait. And if you want, you can get a short position or something like that. I wouldn't invest 100% of your portfolio in trades like that. But I think it's worthwhile to buy something like a September short position or even a January 2024 short position for the S&P 500, let's say, because it's inevitable that the market is going to correct. So that's what I would say. Some financial advisors will say, well, hold up your faith flag, just keep investing. I think that's how they keep you in the system. So they don't want you to make 100x return, right? I don't think they'd have their job still if they did that.
Amen. All right. So we're kind of wrapping it up here, but I'm gonna put you on the hot seat now, right?
Cool.
So I'm just gonna say a word, and you're gonna kind of respond with the first word or phrase that comes to your head. All right. So the first word is a red pill.
Neo.
Butter.
Grass-fed, local, superfood, with eggs and fresh sourdough bread.
Yeah. Bitcoin.
Sad.
Polyester.
Oh my gosh. Testosterone destroying, ball shrinking, fertility wrecking.
The Bible.
God, divine, connection to God, powerful manual, faith.
BlackRock.
Cocksuckers.
Second Amendment.
Thank God for it. I mean, what a cheap insurance policy. Like a Glock 19 is like $500. Like, how could you not get one of those to
Yep.
protect your family and your wife and your kids?
Amen. Meme coins.
Opportunity? Hilariously
That's for
so, I
sure.
guess.
I knew a guy who who made like 6 figures off of Pepe. It's ridiculous. Meditation.
Key. Daily practice. Doesn't need to be sitting and just doing a guided meditation. It could be harvesting blueberries or shooting a gun at the range. Everything can be meditation.
Seed oils.
Terrible poison, hard to avoid if you're shopping at the supermarket, must be avoided at all costs. Don't do it.
Doing hard things.
Men must do them to achieve the dreams that they want. Hard things make you stronger, more willed, and sharp in the mind.
Donald Trump.
Um, Used to be my friend and someone I looked up to. Now I worry he's just another politician, bloodline kind of chosen, talking head guy. I don't really trust him anymore.
Electric cars.
um, yeah, Elon Musk can turn those off
From
at
the
any.
ex-Tesla employee.
Elon can turn those off anytime he wants. I think there's even a glitch once where anyone could go and you can move the car. You can do it from the Tesla headquarters. So you could have a car in China and someone can go and back your car out of the parking spot. And electric cars, now we're really getting into it, but not as sustainable as you think based on the sourcing of materials, how far they come, and the amount of energy that it takes to power them. So, overrated.
The Federal Reserve.
A scam. Hopefully, I pray that they will fall and collapse in my lifetime so I can watch them dread the control they have over the republic of the entire world.
I think we'll see that. Artificial intelligence.
Used to think it was like literally the Antichrist. Maybe it still is, but a very powerful tool that we can utilize as conscious creators to, put out content, to organize our thoughts, have meetings. So I feel like we need to learn it and at least see how we can use it in our day-to-day life because it can help us.
Social media.
Use it with intention, create more than you consume, or you are just the slave to the system.
Raw milk.
Really amazing. Find a source, getrawmilk.com or whatever. I have it almost every single day. I have a cup of it right here. It's really been helping with a lot of things in my family.
And what's your mission?
My mission right now, my mission is evolving. I think missions come and go. God gives you missions throughout your life. Your purpose stays the same. The mission's changing. Right now, my mission is to welcome my son into the world with my wife and provide a container for him to prosper and grow and succeed, have all the tools he needs, and start brainwashing him positively from a young age so that he knows what is possible and how much he can create and how divine and godly he and we are.
Investing in commodities.
I think it's great, especially gold is the first one that comes to mind. Having gold in your possession, not buying it to store somewhere else, is another insurance policy along with the Second Amendment. Why not have some of your assets in actual commodities? And then oil and other commodities, food, are also just a tool to invest in and sell, and options can be very lucrative there, especially in a war time like with Russia. For example, USO is a ticker that you can short or long depending on the news. So catching a trend like that could be a side hustle that's easy for guys that are busy with working, and they want to allocate maybe a few hundred or $1,000 to trading commodities. I think it's worthwhile.
Sweet. And most important question, did you have fun?
Did I have fun on this call?
Yeah.
I had a blast, brother. It's been so nice to see your face, catch up, and just talk, man. It's been great.
Likewise, bro. I'm super pumped. Where can people find you? If they want to get in touch with you, if they want to take your services, etc.
Yeah, I'd say the best place would be Instagram right now. I'm at One with the Forces. I haven't been very active on Twitter recently. Maybe that will change. But on there, I'm Resilient Rich, resilient_rich. My name is Richard. I'm going to be having a website come out, a blog, an email list later this summer. So if you catch me on Instagram, you can DM me, say hi, say what's up, and I'll love to connect with all of you. And then I'll be sharing more information on the email list and stuff like that there. And then the website and stuff like that, where I'll be posting a lot more stuff this summer about what I'm working on in the homestead and what we're building here. And then when we open up this place, I would love to host people to come out and just melt away into the forest or get a ton of stuff done in our office spaces or whatever. It's been really nice to catch up with you, brother.
Likewise, man. And we'll have all those links below. And last but not least, why should people work with Will Nicholls based on your experience?
Because the tools are esoteric, and because working with mentors is the best investment you can make, even better than meme coins or commodities or whatever. Because rewiring your limiting beliefs will pay off in every aspect of your life. You will increase your ability to make money, to grow, to have wonderful, thriving relationships, to attract and manifest abundance into your life. So if any of that sounds great to you, I would work with Will Nicholls. If you want to become the best version of yourself, and for me, working with a mentor, part of it is accountability too, is if you don't have that awareness and that strength to show up for yourself, working with a mentor like Will Nicholls will give you that container of doing the work with another person who's going to lead you and guide you to the place you want to go. So many of us want to do it. We don't know. We have some of the tools. We know what we have to do, but we're not willing to show up, and that's okay. Work with a mentor. They will help guide you, lead you, and then down the road, you will be able to lead yourself better, and then you can pick up other mentors. Having mentors, being led by other men, working in men's groups, or women, depending on, for me, it's men, but is so key. It is the best investment you can make to your growth. It always pays off. It is an investment. It's not an expense. You can invest $10K in a mentor, but you're increasing your ability to make money by a lot more than $10K. So it's expensive because it's got a high value. And I would highly recommend it. Thank you, Nick.
Amen. And we definitely didn't script that, and I'm not.
It was not scripted.
So.
We haven't talked in over a year.
That was like a perfect VSL right there.
Yeah, we haven't talked in over a year, guys. I promise. That was just from the head and the heart. Thank you.
Amazing. All right, bro. Well,
Cool.
I appreciate it. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. I hope you guys got a lot of value out of this. And, yeah, Richard's links will be posted below if you want to check out the amazing work that he's doing, and I highly, highly recommend you do. And until next time, we'll talk soon.
Awesome.